Sometimes you don't need someone to openly insult you to feel disrespected. Just a cold glance, a careless remark, or silence in the middle of a crowd can be enough to make you wonder, am I being looked down on? If you've ever swallowed your anger, ever smiled through the pain, or kept quiet just to keep the peace, then this story is for you, because I won't tell you how to earn others' respect. I'll show you how to hold on to your self-respect, even when no one is willing to give it to you. Stay until the end, because by then, you might never see condescending words the same way again. Method 1. Don't speak or explain. Silence is golden. When others show you disrespect, you don't necessarily have to respond. Their behavior already says enough, not about you, but about who they are. Reacting immediately is instinctive, but composure is the true sign of inner strength. You don't need to rush to fix how others see you, because most of the time, they don't actually want to understand. You'd only be challenging the belief they've already decided to hold. If someone deliberately underestimates you, your explanation won't change their mind. It will only reinforce their illusion that they have the power to define your worth. And in doing so, you've lowered yourself. Silence, when chosen consciously, is not a sign of weakness. It's a refusal to step into a conversation that holds no truth, no listening, and no higher outcome. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Don't let the anger of others control your mind. Let your own integrity be your response." Unnecessary words weigh down the spirit, and the wise preserve their inner peace by not reacting to every provocation. Contempt, malicious comments, and misunderstandings, they are all tests. You can view them as insults, or you can see them as opportunities to train your calmness, self-respect, and emotional mastery. If what they say is untrue, there's no need to fear. Time will reveal the truth. If what they say is accurate, accept it as a prompt to improve yourself. And if what they say is vague, ill-intentioned, and lacking in constructive spirit, then it's best to let it pass. Silence is not the absence of action. It is a deliberate act by those who know that sometimes not speaking is the strongest response. Because sometimes no reply is a powerful form of reply. You don't need the last word in every conversation. You don't owe explanations to those who've never truly listened to you. When you understand that, you free yourself from the need for validation in the wrong places. The next time someone disrespects you, pause and ask yourself, does this reaction truly serve my inner character? If not, smile, steady your mind, and move on. Silence is the space of freedom. The one who can choose silence at the right moment is the one no longer dragged into the trivial. Method 2. Let it go and smile. Not every insult is worth your response. Not every act of disrespect needs a lesson in return. And not every wound you receive must be proven, analyzed, or followed by a demand for an apology. Some things are better left behind, not because you're too weak to react, but because you're strong enough not to care. Forgiveness doesn't always come from compassion. Sometimes it simply comes from understanding that holding on to resentment is tying yourself to the pain, and letting go is choosing freedom. The person who hurt you may never feel remorse. They may never believe they were wrong. They may continue on unbothered as if nothing unfair ever happened. But that doesn't matter. What matters is that you don't let their actions shape your mind. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, When others do wrong, think, if I can recognize their mistake, then I too am capable of making it. So it's better to observe with kindness than punish with anger. Anger makes you react. Understanding helps you choose your stance. You don't need revenge to feel balanced. You don't need to say a single word to reclaim your dignity. Just smile. A smile that holds no bitterness, no mockery, no force. A gentle smile from someone who understands. Those words can only hurt you if you allow them to. Serenity is not a natural state. It's a choice made repeatedly day after day. It's the ability to walk past the thorn in your heart without picking it up, turning it over, or carrying it along. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing not to carry that wound for the rest of your life. You leave it where it began, and you move on with your back straight, your head held high, and your mind steady. Smiling is a sign of someone who understands you don't have to win every confrontation. You only need to preserve your dignity in the way you walk away. There are conversations you don't need to join, rumors you don't need to correct, arguments you choose to step out of. That's not losing, that's growing up. The wise know when to speak, but they also know when to let silence and grace bring something to a peaceful close. If someone disrespects you, don't let it wound your self-worth. Just smile. And if needed, walk away without resentment, without anger, without baggage. Not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. Method 3. Keep your distance. Keeping your distance doesn't mean hatred or coldness. It's an act of understanding that not everyone deserves access to the depths of your inner life. When someone repeatedly disrespects you, it's a clear sign that they don't value your presence. And once you see that, choosing to maintain some distance becomes essential to protect your self-worth. Distance doesn't erase politeness, but it preserves dignity. You don't have to cut someone off completely to be firm. Sometimes all it takes is one step back, and your world becomes much quieter. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Keep yourself within the bounds of reason and virtue. Don't let yourself be drawn into what is unnecessary." Keeping distance is also a moral act. It gives you space to think, to reconnect with yourself, instead of constantly being swayed by others' emotions. Some relationships hurt more the closer they get, and some people, if you don't set boundaries, will mistake your patience for weakness. Space allows you to breathe. Silence helps you see who is truly there for you. When you step back, those who value you will step forward. Those who were only near to control or belittle you will find nothing left to use, and they will leave. That is not a loss, it is a cleansing. Keeping your distance is also a way to stop trying to change others. Instead of endlessly hoping they'll understand, you begin to accept they are who they are, and you are who you are. No more blame, no more forcing, just a peaceful letting go. Someone can be physically close to you, yet feel worlds apart. On the other hand, someone you see rarely may always bring lightness when they appear. Pay attention to that, and give yourself the right to choose who gets to enter your inner circle. Not everyone needs to be kept, not because you're selfish, but because you've learned to love yourself enough not to trade peace for toxic ties. Keeping your distance is a subtle act. It's not loud, it's not vengeful. It is simply your way of saying to the world, I respect myself, and I don't need to stay close to anyone to prove it. Method 4. Reevaluate the relationship. Not everyone who's been by your side for years is meant to walk with you forever. And not every relationship needs to be maintained just because of memories, loyalty, or social pressure. Sometimes the bravest thing isn't trying to mend what's broken, but daring to ask, is this relationship still healthy, still aligned with my values? Marcus Aurelius once reminded us, ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary? That question should also apply to people. Some are only around for personal gain. Some come to you only when they need something. Some quietly erode your confidence, trust, and peace of mind with harmless sounding words and seemingly innocent but controlling behaviors. Re-examining a relationship isn't an act of doubt. It's the act of someone living responsibly with themselves and with others. Because, keeping a connection that no longer serves is extending pain for both. A healthy relationship doesn't make you shrink to fit. It doesn't ask you to constantly endure discomfort just to maintain harmony. The right relationship helps you become a kinder version of yourself, not someone who has to abandon self-respect just to be accepted. Ask yourself, around this person, do I feel heard? Do I feel free to be myself? Am I respected when I'm vulnerable? Or only valued when I'm strong and useful? Observe, when I succeed, are they truly happy for me? When I'm hurt, do they stay? When I speak up, are they willing to change? The truth is often clear, but we stay bound by habit, fear, and blind loyalty. Reevaluating isn't about blaming others. It's about recognizing within. Am I giving too much without being met? Am I staying out of loneliness or real connection? A wise person isn't afraid to redraw boundaries. They don't hesitate to shrink their circle to preserve peace. They don't feel guilty for walking away from a toxic relationship because they know leaving at the right time is an act of kindness to oneself. Choose to be with those who make you want to live more kindly, who make you feel safe being yourself, those who are willing to listen, to apologize, to change. The rest, let them go. No resentment, no lengthy explanations, just a quiet clarity in your heart that says, I deserve a relationship that's mature, attentive, and respectful. Method 5. Speak honestly. Silence is a powerful choice, but it's not always the right one. Sometimes respect will never come unless you dare to clearly define your boundaries. There are people who, if you don't speak up, will continue to overstep. And if you keep retreating, one day you'll find there's no place left for you in that relationship. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, when others are wrong, remember you are human too. But that doesn't mean you have to endlessly endure. A calm soul is not one that stays silent at all times. It's one that knows when to speak and how to speak. Honesty is not about hurting others. It's how you keep a relationship clean. It's when you say what you can no longer accept with calmness but firmness. It's when you say, I don't feel respected by how you're treating me, or I need to be heard, not ignored. These words don't make you weak. On the contrary, they show you understand your worth. Many people avoid conflict out of fear of upsetting others. But the truth is, avoidance doesn't make the problem go away. It only drives the cracks deeper beneath the surface. One day, silence itself will be what suffocates the relationship. Don't pretend to be okay when you're hurting. Don't pretend you've forgotten when something still stings. Speak, but speak with kindness. Speak to rebuild, not to destroy. Speak to reconnect, not to end things. And if after all you've said, the other person still disregards you, still refuses to listen, at least you've done what needed to be done. You've been honest with yourself. The conversation might not be easy. It might even create distance. But distance built on truth is always more valuable than closeness built on pretending. Honesty is a mirror. It shows who is capable of walking with you in maturity and who was only ever passing through your life temporarily. Learn to speak up, not to be right, but to give the relationship a chance to become clearer. The right person will listen when you speak. And if someone feels threatened by your truth, they were never ready to build something meaningful with you. Honesty is a gift. You offer it not to be liked, but to protect your self-respect. And if that makes someone walk away, let them go with all the lightness in your heart. Method 6. It's okay. Just be yourself. There will always be people who dislike you, not because you're wrong, not because you've done anything bad, simply because your existence doesn't match their expectations. You're honest. They find it irritating. You're quiet. They say you're arrogant. You're kind. They think you're fake. You live true to yourself. They call you selfish. But that's okay. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you are honest, kind, and thoughtful, and others still treat you badly, the fault is not yours." We weren't born to please everyone. You can live humbly and act with integrity, but you'll never control how others perceive you. So the best thing to do is return to yourself. Stand firm in what you believe is right. Stay true to your values in every action. Remember, you don't need to do anything extra to deserve respect. You already deserve it, simply because you are a human being with thoughts, feelings, and dignity. When others disrespect you, they don't diminish your worth. They only expose the emptiness in their own character. You don't need to lower yourself to gain acceptance. You don't need to strain yourself to be liked. You don't need to become someone else just to maintain a relationship that was never real. What is born out of force will leave in silence, but what begins in sincerity will stay, even without you trying to hold on. So if someone doesn't see your worth, let them see in their own way. But you don't see yourself through their eyes. Keep living kindly. Keep doing what's right. Keep your heart clear. You don't need any external validation to know who you are, because you're not here to be approved. You're here to be at peace. And peace only comes when you stop chasing others' opinions. Just be yourself, even when the world turns its back, because eventually you'll realize the only person who stays with you to the end is yourself. So be someone you can be proud of, even when you're alone. Method 7. Hold your head high. When someone disrespects you, your first instinct is often to lower your head, either from hurt or to avoid conflict. But don't. Hold your head high. Not to prove anything, but to remind yourself you have nothing to be ashamed of. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have the power to choose your response. Your honor lies in your hands, not in the eyes of others." Holding your head high isn't arrogance. It's the stance of someone who refuses to be defined by another's cruelty. You've been kind, patient, and honest about your needs, and still you were mistreated. So there's nothing more for you to carry. Hold your head high, walk on, and leave them to the life they've chosen. You might feel sad, disappointed or question yourself for a moment. But don't let those feelings make you forget your worth. Don't let injustice take away your self-respect. Lift your gaze so you can see the road ahead instead of staring at those turning their backs. Hold your head high so you carry the posture of someone who's endured pain without becoming bitter. And above all, hold your head high to remember this: dignity doesn't come from being treated well, but from how you remain kind even when no one is kind to you. You may lose a relationship. You may leave a group. You may give up a few handshakes and polite smiles, but you haven't lost yourself. And that's what matters most. Walk away with calm. Let them watch you, not because you've won, but because you haven't fallen. Hold your head up, not to hide sadness, but to protect your self-worth. You don't need to retaliate, get angry, or make a scene. Just walk away, silently, head held high, with peace in your heart. That is a strength no one can take from you. In the end, it's not because others respect you that you have value. It's because you know your value, that you no longer allow anyone to treat you poorly. You don't need to shout or win. Just silence, steady steps, and a lifted head. Because true dignity isn't shown in how you respond to praise, but in how you stand when no one stands beside you. And if there's one thing you should take from all this, let it be this: peace comes from within, not from how others see you. Keep that, because it's what will lead you back to yourself, no matter how far others choose to walk away.